I'm not frozen. Yeah, baby, yeah. So this is really exciting because I'm actually live and the fish just splashed. So, woo, that is not good. Had a little action over here, but I hope you folks are doing amazing. I really do. There's just so much happening today. There's a lot of things transpiring and we got to talk about it, especially because I didn't put out a video and all that happy jazz. But got the chat opened and we're ready to get to it. But first, Darth Vader. Delicious. So the thumbnail is in fact true. It is not clickbait. Sold. 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 25, 35, 105, 150. Do I got two? Do I got two? Do I got 2 1/4? 250 to the guy in the back. It's all gone. It literally, Slash's tank's gone. The Tanganyika tank's gone. The saltwater aquarium's gone. And now the Congo tank sits on the chopping block. But why? I'm going to need aquariums, right? I mean, I'm definitely going to need aquariums. And so it's, we're going to have to figure it out. But I'll explain why I'm doing this. And maybe you can get the picture of ultimately, yes, all of these aquariums are sold, but the fish and the inhabitants are all mine. So I'm not just trying to get rid of it to start something new. And I've moved quite often, I guess you could say, during the span of this YouTube channel. And while I always say, I hope it stops at some point, I really hope that this is I don't want to say final place, but this is the place that carries us very, very far into the future. And I want to do it right. I want to do it exactly the way I want to do it. Not the way somebody thinks I should do it, or not the way I believe will give good content, because that's never been me, right? At the core of me, it's never been like that. If I've gotten an aquarium, it's because I either paid for it, or I grinded to get it, or I traded something to get it, or I had a friend like Neptunian Cube USA that was looking to put the aquariums and see how they worked and things of that nature. And I think they turned out really well. But it's time that I did exactly what I want to do, what I envision. And that vision comes from years and seeing aquarium shops and seeing lounges and seeing other folks do it and taking all of the good and making it my best, my favorite. Not 100 tanks. I'm thinking, and I'm still working the details out. Matter of fact, Brock just said all matching tanks from Planet ? I don't know. Will they be matching? Yes. So the thoughts for me are going to be 72 long, 27 tall, between 25 to 27 wide. I'm looking at 4 aquariums right now. And then I'm thinking on a larger scale, a much bigger presentation, although that may not happen. I don't know. But that's the thought that I have. So I want to come into this room and it be exactly what I envisioned. Minimal work, not a lot of evaporation. I've said it time and time again. I don't want open top tanks. Now, when it comes to saltwater tanks, matter of fact, I'll turn this so you can see. Actually, it's going to be the first time, so enjoy. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. That is the new saltwater tank. And I've had that tank. That tank was zebra plecos. Still have the zebra plecos. That tank became a vivarium hold. But then I've got another project that's a secret. It's only a secret because that's what the company wants. And so all those plants went into that secret design. And if you were following along on Instagram and stuff, I've posted a lot of the great, content for that piece. So I took that desktop, I sprayed the back, and boom. I utilized Aquavitro seed. I put in rock from my local store, Prestige Worldwide. Awesome name, by the way. And then I'm using Alciche. I'm using a canister filter on the saltwater tank. And the idea is I'm going to take all of those inhabitants of the saltwater tank and I'm going to put them into this new saltwater tank once I believe it is ready. And then I have to figure out a place for Slash. Luckily, the person that I sold the 2 big tanks, the open top large tanks, went to somebody that I've actually sold tanks to before. And he owns a really cool company called Bullfrog's Spa. And Hot Tub and Spa, I believe is what it's called. And he's also got a company called Bullfrog Aquatics. And what's neat about it is he's local. So he's already put a deposit down, which is fantastic. And he'll take the tanks when I'm ready to move. So that in itself is a breath of fresh air. I've got the empty paludarium. I've got a very small tank that's manageable to move. But then I have the Congo tank. I have somebody that offered me money for the Congo tank, but I don't know when he wants it. So I'm trying to figure out that deal. I'm keeping majority of my equipment. So I will have lots of equipment to move over. And then it just comes stocking the new stuff. What I was thinking is, maybe I move everything that's in the Congo tank and I move it to the bottom of the paludarium. I don't know. So there's a lot of things that are transpiring, but I'm excited. I actually was setting up this saltwater tank and Wendy asked me, she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is exactly what I enjoy doing. I enjoy setting these things up. And then I like watching them flourish. I don't like getting my hands all in them and ultimately ruining them unless I have to." So yeah, they're all sold. And we've got a couple desktops left. I'm selling those as well. And there is an idea behind this. I always plan for the worst and hope for the best. So what I am trying to plan for is in the event that this home, which knock on all of the things, sacrifice cupcakes, pray, wishes, write it down, put it in a book, whatever it is that you do, please do it, that this home is done by the end of July. But in the event it's not, I have to have a backup plan. Wendy and I have to have a backup plan. And that backup plan is we move stuff into storage and I didn't have a place for all my aquariums. So ideally I can house a couple of smaller things, which is why I was looking to sell all of my things. Whew. It's kind of crazy. I just have a passion for glass boxes. So to see myself evolve, to talk to folks that, have watched or have been involved in all of the things that have happened throughout my time on YouTube. It's crazy. T-Bone's Fishes. I did not sell my fish. I only sold my tanks. And, everybody, how do you put it? It's all gone, but it's like a crazy, awesome feeling. Like it's not that I'm starting over. I'm evolving. I'm evolving to where I want to go. I don't switch things out unless I have an empty box and something has, gotten sold or I was using it as a hold pattern for the next thing. I really want to do what it is I want to do on the scale that I want to do it. And I've been in talks with many people to manufacture aquariums. I don't know who I'm going with yet. I know that it's going to be an accumulation of filtration. Ciche doesn't have the filtration that's needed for some of these far bigger tanks without putting, 4 or 5 canisters on it. So there's lots of things happening. but I'm excited. Wednesday, I leave for Orlando. And then the following month, I leave for Orlando. And then I'm in, I believe, New York, Secaucus, which is New Jersey, for another aquarium show. And then hopefully the home's done and I can feel more at ease. I haven't been at ease. I mean, I'm very grateful. I don't know how to explain this, and I'm going to answer some questions. So if you folks have questions, I'd be glad to answer them, but it's kind of hard to discuss or say what I'm about to say without feeling ungrateful. But that's not even close to the case. I enjoy peace and quiet, like really quiet. And I don't get that in this neighborhood. When it's all said and done, I think there'll be 1,200 homes, which is why we're renting this place. The rent is very high, but we needed a place that suited our needs rather quickly to get closer to Liam. And so we did that. So I'm very grateful for the roof over my head. I'm very grateful that we have a place that we are safe, that we can put our things, and that we could live. But it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable the way it is because it wasn't designed by us. It didn't give us enough time to figure out those things. So it had to be rushed. This next step is not it. We've designed every spot. We designed every nook, every cranny to suit what we want. And it's a lot of stress, but it's highly rewarding. But being uncomfortable, but being comfortable with that has taught me a lot. I'm a very impatient person, if you folks haven't noticed. And so this taught me a lot of patience. It taught me a lot about frustrations that normally I would want to change right away, and I cannot. So I'm very grateful for this time here. I fell out of the attic the first few days we were here, blew out my ankle, tore tendons, bone fractures. I'm healed up rather nicely, hopefully enough to run at some point. And yeah, I even sold most of my Ninja Turtle collection that was not the toys I grew up with. I know it sounds funny, but it also helped pay for a lot of stuff in the home. It's crazy. I'm still selling them on eBay, and it's crazy how much it's helped. So I've sacrificed a lot. I've given a lot. And at the same time, folks like you have been here the whole time, cheering me on, encouraging me, telling me that I'm silly, telling me that I shouldn't do that, or laughing at me. It's all fantastic. So Brock B says I should do 36 front to back for massive scaling benefit. 36 and 36, 72. That leaves me with very little room in the center to relax. So while the scaling is good, this is not a saltwater tank. And I get it. The bigger you go, the better. The idea is I'm not one to jump on trendy fish. I'm not. I can't even believe that there is such a thing. If I'm going after something, it's because I'm ready, I've done the research, and I can provide a home for that animal for the long haul. And which is why I'm at the 25-inch mark for two reasons. One, cost-wise, it sits at the threshold before the major bump comes. The other deal is that's 50 inches from wall out, barring me, let's say 52 inches with hosing and things like that, where I can relax in the center. So that's the idea, is there's going to be 2, 2, and then 1. This is the big one. And then 2, 72, 27 tall by 25. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm going to design them all differently, but I want the aquarium facades to look identical. What up to everyone that is here? I greatly appreciate you. Let's shift some gears. That's what's happening. All the tanks are sold. At some point, it's going to be crazy. These guys will get their own tank, covered, feeling lush. Not sure what I'm going to do with the Congos. Thinking about it going into the paludarium sounds like a fantastic idea because it's very deep. And then that would free up 3 other aquariums in that room for some really cool things. The saltwater aquarium will be inside the house because that's where it's going to be, more than likely in Wendy's office. And that's going to either be a 4 or 5 foot aquarium. Let's see. I have a gift for your new house, Jose. I greatly appreciate it. I don't know what to say, but thank you. Let's see. You are a winner. I don't know what that means. I must have missed a ton of things. I must have missed all of them. So let's do this. Let's just open the floor up for questions and answers. Anything you want to discuss, let's talk about it. Darth Blunt said, I don't consider it impatient. I consider it an internal need to grow. Big props to you. Well, thank you. There is some impatience to it because, I want to throw a bunch of coral into this aquarium, but I know that it's not fully ready. There is coral in here and it's all thriving. Even my bubble tip I thought was on its way out is thriving. The parameters are really good. It looks amazing, but I don't want to shock the system. So I'm not going to be able to get everything in there. And then as far as Slash, he can go into a tub. I mean, that guy's happy in just about anything. He's a silly man. And then it just comes down to really setting up these aquariums exactly the way I want them. Minimal maintenance, very close to original habitat, and what I've been wanting to keep. So Brock asked what my number 1 dream fish is, fresh or salt. Saltwater wise, easy. Candy basslet. I have a cave basslet. I really want a candy basslet. Bad, like really bad. I will get one. Oh, I will get one. Freshwater wise, I can't keep the fish I want because nobody will bring it in. They're very evil. It's just the way they are. But a fish that I've really always wanted to keep is Petrochromis. I know everybody goes, oh, easy, get it done. I really want Petrochromis. I want them big. I want them beautiful. And I want them in a habitat they can enjoy. So that, I don't want to say it's a dream fish, right? I mean, if I could keep any fish, I would probably keep the emperor cichlid, like a group of them. But you need a pool. I mean, I need a legit pool. And it's not going to happen, at least not in the foreseeable future. On that note, you sold your tanks. I should be getting black ruby barb sometime today to go in my tiger barbs tanks. That's awesome. I really like my Congo tetras. Although it seems I only have males. I think I have 1, 2, maybe 3 females. What the heck? But they're big. They got big quick. I don't know if anybody remembers them, but I got the original group from Something Fishy out of Ohio. And they came in pretty tattered just from shipping. Immediately bounced back. And then it's like they blew up. Like it legit blew up. I went and got a couple from a local store. They did good. Well. And then Aquarium Fish Depot out of San Diego sent me some with Dwight, the Congo puffer. And they were massive. And it's like they all just went crazy. What was the first fish? I hear Congo tetras are trending lately. I do you mean? How are they trending? I've had them. I didn't get them because they were trending. I got them because, well, they're probably one of the more colorful, bigger tetras that I enjoy. My first fish I ever owned, I mean, technically like a comet goldfish, whatever they call. So that, and then I had a beta. I had some community fish. So I had bumblebee gobies, neon tetras. I think I had a couple mollies at the time, and then stopped keeping fish, and then immediately went into African cichlids. The first African cichlid I ever got was a kobu, a pseudotrophy. I don't even think, is it still classified pseudotropheus? Anyways, it was a kobu. He almost looked like a lion's cove. He was an Mbuna, and he was amazing. I wish I could have had this whole breeding group, but that was the first African cichlid that I ever got. Good evening to Texas Fish Room. Junior actually just asked, I seen the title, did you really sell them? If you were looking for some clickbait, the answer is I did sell them. Sold them all. Except for the Congo tank. I haven't decided if I'm going to sell that yet, because I could convert it into a really cool slash tank. I don't know. I honestly don't know about that one. I still have to debate on if I want to do that. So yeah, I don't know if anybody lives in or around Orlando, but I'll be there back to back this week all the way till Monday, and then the following month, just for a few days. Then I'm back home and then in Secaucus so I can get some real pizza. I know that's what a couple folks had said, but Paul, I don't know if he asked. I'm going to read this. I'm so interested in saltwater at the moment, just setting up my first tank with some live rock and live sand. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. Favorite aquatic YouTuber, me? Well, I greatly appreciate that. I'm sure there are folks that are far more in it than I am. I don't know. I like YouTube. I really do. It doesn't pay me a lot. I actually get more value from that, communicating, meeting you folks, having conversations, learning, and helping, than I do the few $100 that I get monthly. Merch is always a good thing if you want my face on a t-shirt. or a hoodie. Hoodies they're at a season right now. And anyways, what I was getting to was, I find it funny. There's quirks. Now I'm venturing in the saltwater side just because it's predominantly saltwater. We have freshwater products galore, but it's been so ingrained in saltwater, and it is a phenomenal product. That's why it's so great working with Seache, because it's the warranty and everything. It's just so good. And I laugh because I used to get so frustrated with folks that'll be like, check out my new fish. Check it out, bro. This fish right here is an OB, lake raised, super pastel, blueberry, sunset, aurora, peacock. What? I mean, it was getting out of hand for a while, where folks were like, I would love to see this fish in the wild. That fish was never in the wild, ever. But there were so many names, and you know, for instance, it was dragon blood, right? What are some other names for dragon blood? Peacock, anybody? Because there's a ton of names. The dragon blood has like a bunch of names depending on where you live, and then slight variations to it. Malev's Reef. I don't think I've ever seen him here, but he's asking what he missed. First off, Malev's, thank you very much for hopping in here. You didn't miss anything other than I've sold pretty much every tank I have in preparation for a move for all brand new builds, all aesthetically pleasing to myself, saltwater, freshwater, turtle tank, the whole 9 yards. So folks, if you haven't, Malev's Reef's got a website, check him out. He's also got a phenomenal YouTube channel for anybody that's looking to get into the saltwater hobby. But T-Bones Fish said, Jay, how much harder is saltwater tanks to look after? Malev's. I just said Malev's. That's got to be it. Come on. Honestly, it depends, right? It depends on what you're keeping. When I hear this live rock and live sand, if it was dry when you got it, it wasn't live. And most of the time, this live stuff isn't really live because it's just been really sitting in water. So if you're just doing rock and sand, that's great. You're going to have to, quote unquote, seed it. It establishes very similar to what a freshwater tank does. However, there are some things you have to keep in mind. I mean, you can jumpstart it fast. You could put mollies in. You can slow roll it. I mean, there's so many different things. But when it comes to saltwater overall, I think that's the first time Mando's ever barked on camera. It's crazy because if you want to keep some really difficult stuff saltwater wise, yeah, there's going to be a lot of work. You're going to be dosing. I mean, you're really going to feel like a mad scientist. You're going to be like, I'm dosing aminos. I'm dosing. I mean, it's vodka dosing. It's aminos. It's I'm gonna dose. I think boron. I could be wrong. It's like boron. I don't dose really anything. Matter of fact, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing at the moment to my tank, but it's crazy to see what folks do. They got $1,000 pieces of equipment that auto dose and put the right amount of mag and calcium and alkalinity, and it could turn into this nightmare for folks that aren't ready for it. However, I have a 24-18-18. I drilled it myself. It has pretty nice coral, I think. It's colorful. I've got some fish in there. Matter of fact, I got a candy basslet. Now I'm gonna name drop here, but Reef Builders actually texted me and said that's a pretty bitchin' fish. And it was really cool to hear something like that because I do like basslets, hence why the candy basslet is my favorite grail fish for saltwater. But I don't find it any more difficult than a freshwater tank. It just depends on your approach. And there's no right or wrong way to do a lot of these things. There's your way. As long as you're doing the right steps and achieving the right process, I don't think it's much harder. Just don't keep some hard stuff. Don't go crazy. I mean, you could buy $1,000 piece of coral. You can, or you could buy $10, $15, $25 frags and watch them grow. The only thing I ever put in that tank is I feed the fish, and I have used a couple different products for growth of corals. And you really don't need to feed them much unless you have a massive system and corals that are consuming a lot of the nutrients that are already in the water. So AB Plus, yes, from Red Sea, I've used a whole bottle of it. And then I've used Aquavitro Fuel, or maybe Seachem, it's the same company. But now I'm trying something different, which is a lot of work and it's a pain in the butt, but I want to see if there's a massive difference. But equipment is more expensive. So to sum it all up, it's whatever you want to make it. It's whatever you want to make it. I got a nice $5 super chat from Wichita Fish Keepers. You are my entertainment while on my commute. Have a great live stream. No, thank you very much for listening to me. So I only got 1 or 2 answers. Strawberry peacock, yes. Silly. I've heard of coral. Whoa, Radical Reefs. What is he doing? Buddy, save that money, guy. That is what I am talking about. Brock B asked if I was reef moonshining. The answer is absolutely not. There is way too many products for me to be moonshining anything. I am a KISS style person. I'm not saying that it doesn't work because trust me, I've seen aquariums on it and it works phenomenally. For me, it's not my go-to. And there's a reason. There's not a lot of things you should be changing in a saltwater tank. I don't know how we got on this topic, but it's a very consistent ball game. I use the same salt. I get it in jugs from my local store. It's Tropic Marin. It's stable. I can do 102.5 every time in that bad boy. This one sits at 102.4, but it is smaller. The idea is probably salt doesn't precipitate, so which means doesn't evaporate. So as the water comes down lower, I'm sure the salinity will go up just a smidge. So we're working there. I'm just not a more work type person. So less is more for me overall. I'm 90% view, 10% touch, and that includes a saltwater tank. As long as I'm doing my top offs and I am checking the necessary things, my gauge, honestly, is I look at a very fragile piece of coral. And what I've known to be more fragile for me has been Goniopora, which is some really pretty stuff. And I have a hot pink with purple eye or mouth or butt. It's all of the things. And if it's open and flourishing, but I do have really fancy schmancy lights on it. And yeah, so it's a slightly different tweak. And as long as you take the same approach, you'll be good. But you have to do what works for you as long as you're doing it in the best interest of that animal. But it does get crazy. So where I was going with that is, the strawberry peacock, the dragon's blood, I think there's like 4 other names folks will name that fish. Coral is the same way. And it's crazy. If there's an ultra in that name, consider it pricey. And so I'm seeing things like, boom, check out this Space Invader, Ultra Galaxy, Shooting Star, Aurora Borealis, Eclipse, Super Blood Moon, Zoanthid. What? And they're like, this sucker's $699.99 a head. I have no idea what that means. No idea. I have no idea. All I know is it looks pretty snazzy. I can't afford that right now. But there's just a lot of names out there. So if you're going for stuff, anything that's rainbow or ultra or galactic, it's crazy. It's very expensive. And it's funny. Somebody just asked what happened to the Eclectus parrot that I had named Yoshi. Love that guy. I love that bird. He did not love my son. And humans over parrots any day. He developed a sensitivity. If he was not with me, he would just freak out. And it was to the point where he was ultimately disturbing the household. I tried everything. I moved cage. I changed food slowly. I spent way more time with him than I was. I mean, I did everything. He didn't like my son. And so I didn't want him to go to another home per se. I was looking for a sanctuary. He ultimately wanted to breed. And he clearly said this many times with actions and frustration noises. And he went to I guess you can call it a reserve for birds, where a gentleman houses them naturally open. It's in South Georgia. And Yoshi he was a parent within like 5 months. It was like that. So it's what he needed. Much bigger cage, better for him. I do miss him, but it was for the better for everyone, including Yoshi. I talked to Imperial Tropicals today. He only has babies. I need at least 2 inches. Thumbs up or free fitty. Share the love. That's a good one, Brock. I mean, you've got Cunningham cichlids. You've got Something Fishy in Ohio. You've got Aquarium Fish Depot in San Diego. You've got Dave's Rare Fish. There's a ton of places to buy fish. I'm sure you can find them. Man. Yeah, that's crazy. Sounds like my African gray Toby. I wanted an African gray, but the Ecliptus was just, I'm attracted to brighter colors, which is why I stayed away from saltwater tanks. Okay, look, people keep saying it. If you're watching this, just hit the like button. Just hit the like button. Let's try to match the likes. Charlie Bright, thank you very much. Super chats are phenomenal, and I greatly appreciate it. Yep, Cichlid Shack. They actually have been doing a lot for my channel when they happen, reinvesting it into certain equipment, better streaming. This is all going towards the future, which I greatly appreciate. Autumn Rose is in the house. So, yeah, for those that just have joined, I sold all my tanks. And it's not clickbait, it's real. So if that's what you thought, then that's what it is. Fish Room Fever said, I've been thinking about that. I wasn't sure if daily or weekly would better. I don't want to spam post at all. Appreciate your input. I don't know what's happening, but I would assume weekly is good. I have a blue ram and he has a white spot around his eye. I think he cut it on something that I have in the tank. What can I do to help him? Just watch him. Just seriously watch him. The idea that we have to immediately do something is crazy. It's like humans. Immediately, we need to put medicine. We need to attack it, right? Our bodies were designed to fight a lot of things, especially if we are healthy. And so if your water parameters are good and you have time and it doesn't look like it's progressing, I think you should really just pay attention, right? Just keep some really good quality water, keep it oxygenated, make sure the stress levels are down. And an eye injury is typically one of a few things. It's either parasite, aggression, or stupidity, swimming. And the idea is just to lower stress levels and watch. I mean, you can add some slime coat. I don't think it's going to help dramatically. But if you see it worsening, then you may want to start looking into other forms. But I wouldn't go crazy just yet. Gotta bounce. Thanks for sharing, Jay. See you around. Keep your head up and your energy higher. Always, my friend. Enjoy your evening. So now that I've sold everything and I've got a giant bag of money, which I do not because the money actually went to the deposit of Wendy's refrigerator. Right, Wendy? Our refrigerator. Who picked it out? So yeah. But yeah, it not going to Vegas. I'm not one to gamble. Especially not on that. I'm not a gambler when it comes to something like that. I have a tough time gambling my own money. If you want to donate money, I'll gamble that. But I'm just not a fan of gambling my money. Must be a fancy one. Yeah, it is. But it does play into yeah, I don't know how many different shaped ice cubes it does. I didn't pick it out. I couldn't even tell you the model. I know it's a KitchenAid one. That's it, because it matches all the other stuff. Man, you know how hard it is looking for appliances in today's world with Wendy? So, Ultra Square Galaxy cubes. Yeah, so the money that I used to that I sold, I can't even think. The money that I got from selling the tanks, I got the deposit so far. Went to the deposit of the refrigerator, and then that money's going back into the house because I got to go for the mortgage next month. So we got to have everything in a row. Love him a wet pet said, I went to Vegas, won a jackpot. When I got home, the refrigerator broke down. I feel like a life watches when this happens, right? You know, let's play with that a little bit. I really do. I want to play with this. It could be anything in life. We always come back to, I need to catch a break, right? I need to catch a break. But the fact is we caught the gift already. We caught the break. We're still kicking. We still got some fight. And, you know, somebody wins a ton of money. They could have looked at it as, oh crap, the refrigerator broke down. Maybe the refrigerator was breaking down, but the gift was actually you winning the money. We don't know. What we do know is what is happening to us. And we can choose to allow it to attack us and bring us down if it's negative, or we can use it in a way and see it from a different perspective that we learn, that we excel, that we move forward, that we get above whatever it is. Trust me. I've been into some shoddy situations, some pretty crappy ones, some that I would never wish upon my worst enemy. But I can say that looking back, I learned a lot that will help me in the future. It's crazy. Jose, I greatly appreciate it. It's not needed, but you have a wonderful night, and thank you. The fridge could be your next cold water system. I don't know what it. She's already kicking me out of the new fridge. She's like, you should get a small little beverage fridge so you can put all your fish foods in it. Why can't I continue using the fridge? There's supposed to be another fridge and freezer in the utility room. Why do I have to have my own fridge for my fish stuff if it's ours? Liam doesn't know, but we got some Star Wars cool cans. Kids in love with Star Wars. It's crazy. The tank behind you is dope. Have fun. It's sold. Oh, you know what? I want to say this publicly because I'm going to answer a couple things. First, but I got a feeling that a company just designed some rocks to emulate this tank. Maybe they didn't, but if they did, I don't know. I guess I've been quiet so long. I'm very humble. If they did, it's fantastic. They a shout out like, hey, inspired by. I don't want any money. But I'll get to that in a second because I don't want this to sound really the way it was about to sound. How long should I watch them? And thank you for your help and keep up the good YouTube videos. I mean, watch them for a couple of weeks. I mean, fish, just like humans, are going to respond differently to infections or injuries and things like that. So I would keep an eye on him, make sure he's eating, make sure he's not breathing heavy, no clamped fins, things of that nature. And then honestly, just kind of give it a couple weeks. It should heal itself. And if it's not, then we got to start looking into other things. And what I always recommend is prepare for the worst. Prepare for that eye to be lost, because it just does something better for us not to panic and overreact in a situation. I'm not saying he's going to, but we should prepare for that. My wife made me get a mini fridge for fish stuff and my collection of hot sauces. Oh, that's awesome. That is great. Last comment. I live in Vegas and the casinos don't pay the light bills with winners. Keep your cash away from here. I like to eat in Vegas. I do like to eat in Vegas. So somebody said Peacock Queen. Let me go back up because there was something. We love you, Wendy. Jay Wilson, so funny. I like when he does those funny voice impressions. I got them all day. Promise you. Got them all day. Coming soon, the Jay Wilson inspired line of Universal Rocks. There already is an inspired line of Universal Rocks from me. You can see the Deepwater. You can see the Wilson's Ridge. You can see, you probably won't see those. You can see rock caves. Those are mine. But 024 Delta Juliet Foxtrot, Aqua Decor, and they have moss on the rocks now. No, it is not the moss on the rocks, but I am going to say it. They just released floating rocks that look very much like this tank and very much a Tanganyika tank that they talked about. And I think it's awesome. Trust me, I love the artistic stuff that comes out of Aqua Decor. But if it really was inspired by me or anybody, I think what we don't do as much is we don't say, you know, I'm going to give that person a shout out. We don't do it at all. And I think that that's a sad, lost thing. I really do. Like if I was emulating something from matter of fact, that saltwater tank, I'll show you again. You want to know where I got that idea? Reef Zoa. I think that's his name on Instagram. That's where I got the idea. It's not the same size tank. I sprayed it with Krylon spray paint in the back. I threw an old light on it. I threw 4 rocks and wanted to be minimalistic and open space on the outside. I looked at what somebody did, and that's the emulation. And when I do show it fully, I am going to credit them. And I guess I don't know why we don't do that. You know, it's maybe that's just the way we are. How would the shout out be delivered? I don't know. Maybe, you know, we're into, and I'm just, it's over and done with, but it's what I guess what I'm saying is maybe it's not fair to creative minds. Like I created that from my own thought process, and I'm not looking for monetary gain from it. I guess I've never really looked for monetary gain from that other than like sales. But I mean, ideally, for instance, in the same situation, they could have said, yeah, we've got a brand new product. It's our floating rock, whatever they named it. And we got some inspiration from this person. That's it. I think that that's great because it's not, it's not trademarked. I think it's just like an ethical thing for me. It's like lighting. I watch a lot of tech YouTubers, and I take a lot of inspiration from them. My personality is mine. And, you know, a lot of people, does YouTube suggest ways to make content? It seems like everyone is starting up a podcast. Okay. That's another thing. It's, what's the word? Podcasts are good. They are. But I think what happens is YouTube does tell you if there is a video. So we'll go back to one of my videos because I'm going to finally say this out loud. One of my videos, it has over 1 million views. I didn't monetize, but it doesn't matter because it has probably just as many dislikes as it does likes. But if you go back to that video, look at the date. Look at the date. This is why I've never cared about numbers until I found out some things that YouTube does suggest. YouTube tells you to play off of a very popular video or category of videos within your genre. It will help. And I never really paid attention to this. And it's one of those things that I think I maybe did a few times and it didn't work. And it didn't make it any more extravagant for me. What I found out is I don't do thumbnails very well. I believe my content is okay. I believe my personality is okay. I can communicate. I can articulate very well. I've got a ton of voices I can do, and I keep aquariums. But I just believe that there are certain things that I just don't do that a lot of other folks do in the same genre. Like, I don't show a lot of my saltwater tanks. When I do, they bomb. Woo! My boy does not like something out there. But for me, it's not about that. It's just about getting a video out. Like, I felt like my last video was great. How to set up a saltwater tank, a nano saltwater tank. It's horrible. It did horribly, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep going. So Brock B said, crystal clear water. That's exactly the video. Look at that video, the date, and then go to every single YouTuber you watch and look for a crystal clear water video after. I wish I would have known now what I know then and didn't take the breaks that I took, but I mean, it is what it is. I suspect they're all playing the watch time coefficient in the algorithm. It's a lot. Its thumbnail is a big piece. Title is very big. SEO algorithm is even bigger. And tags really don't play a huge part. And I suck at all of those things that YouTube does require. Jay does not clickbait and jump on trends. I like how you do content. It feels genuine. Actually, people will still say I clickbait. I did a video that says exposing aquarium co-op. I came here looking for doo-doo. Yeah, of course you were looking for it, but I still exposed him. I just exposed him in a positive manner. You believed that exposed means negative. Number one. The other video that I get a lot of people saying, yeah, you did this, was I keep shrimp and African cichlids together. It's true. I did. They were in the same system. They weren't in the same tank. I never said same tank. I said together on the same system. So it happens, right? It just happens. YouTube is the second biggest search engine, second only to Google. Absolutely. I mean, that's why SEO works very well. Malev's Reef, I sold all my aquariums. Yeah, it's clickbait, but I did, right? But it still doesn't generate what you would expect to generate. I mean, hypothetically, if I didn't take the breaks and kept going and didn't lose focus and focus in on my life, which you should, and didn't make YouTube my career, which I haven't and I probably never will, I would have a ton more subscribers, but subscriber count doesn't do much for me. It is the interaction. It's staying in contact with folks. And I am just me. I don't market it. Like, I don't think anybody's bought any merch in like 6 months. YouTube's like, hey, you should promote this. That's fine. Meh. Somebody wants something, they want it. It's there. It's cool. I have some. I wear it. Great. But it's not, this isn't my full-time gig. I have a job. I have military retirement. So I'm just enjoying what I do. I don't have the most expensive equipment and I play around with stuff. Maybe I'll get big. Maybe I'll just be me. But that's a fact. I am me. And I don't think I've ever steered from that. I've been super transparent the whole time. But as far as podcast goes, there's a lot. There's multiple channel effect that folks want. And there is big time work when it comes to podcast secondary channels. I thought about creating a secondary channel for my collection, my Ninja Turtle collection, almost like a vlog where I just talk about non-aquarium stuff. But I have Instagram for that. And there's just too many things. Like I said, this isn't my full-time job. I just heard, because I heard you getting a fridge that makes funky ice cubes. It doesn't even make funky ice cubes. I think somebody said that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There is clickbait and then there is clickbait. I call it clicky and then there's clickbait. 24 hours. I only have 24 hours to live in a picture of yourself jumping off a bridge. Then you find out the vid is about how to keep angelfish. I don't know who's ever done that, but holy crap. Now everybody's going to buy your merch. No lie. I've been wanting to purchase some. I, awesome. Matter of fact, I think the only thing here, I'm going to show you something. The only thing I ever sold, like promoted, was face stickers. You ready? With signed copies of these bad boys. And I actually sold quite a bit of them. But it's quirky. It's fun. I have a good time with it. And these randomly show up. I've been randomly putting my face. I haven't said this out loud. I haven't told anybody, not even CJ. But I've been randomly putting my face sticker in CJ boxes at stores that I go and visit. Oh goodness, I would hate to be the person that has no idea. What the heck is this? But I'm going to show you a picture. I'm going to preface. It's a picture of me from school. My mom sent it to me. It was picture day. It was late. I grew up very, very differently than a lot of folks did. Mark, return to sender. I wouldn't be surprised. But this picture is middle school, and I did. I was in a transitional phase. I wanted to wear this silk shirt so bad. I'm almost crying. I'm laughing so hard because I did. I even buttoned it all the way up, and it's a hideous color. And when I mean transitional phase, I mean I didn't know what everybody's got an image, right? They're looking for their own image, and especially middle school is very tough. I lived in the inner city, and so I was transitioning out of the, gee golly, sir, where is the restroom, to, yo, where the restroom be? Like, I had to assimilate where I lived, and it happens. It's not anything bad. That's just the way the world goes. Doesn't matter where you live in the world, it happens. And so I was very much into this phase right here, sir. And I did my hair for the first time like this. And I had I wore a night braces wise. These are all my real teeth, but I had this bumper at the bottom. And so I'm just going to shut up and show you. That silk shirt was stained on the back because I didn't know how to. I thought you can iron silk, and that sucker was definitely too close. Mark asked if I dipped back then. That is the bumper. This is how to get all of the girls in school starter pack. Folks, this was 1995. Look at that. Kerpow, baby. Whoo, that forehead has gotten bigger. That hairline, people say, oh, your hairline's receding. Bruh, my hairline's been like that since 1995. Golly. I was always, it didn't matter what I was going through. I was happy. I think that was my way of coping. I think I've got, let me see. We'll go through a couple more. Let's, I wish they wrote, hold on. I got to show you some more. Let's just, this is what we gonna do to end this bad boy. So if you want to leave now, or you want to share in some, my mom sent me these photos. Oh my gosh. I look like a hellion. Whew. I'm unsubbing. It ain't satin, bruh. So unsub because you don't know what linen. I think was it linen? Yeah. It was like pure linen. This wasn't satin, bruh. I did have a mullet. So if Big Rich ever watches this, your boys had a mullet from jump. I just learned that I shouldn't keep the mullet. I was a straight thug. Do you see that haircut? Those are lines in my hair with a mullet. I was killing the badges back then, killing them. I don't think this will help with views. I don't care. Kerpow! Oh, Mr. Steal Your Girl. Oh, that was Santa. Ho, ho, ho. I still have. I haven't gotten a haircut. You see that? I still have it. Bruh, them teeth were coming out of my forehead. Your boy was into fish. Check out that timepiece, though. Whew. I was beating him off with a stick. I can actually put pieces of gum between my teeth. And then, of course, balling. Yeah. I don't know how we ended up on that. I think because the picture was sitting here and it's cheesy. So, look, I appreciate you folks. If you're going through something right now, so this is your chance. Let's see a military photo you had to take back in boot camp. That's in the garage. I don't have one readily available, but this is where I'm gonna talk about life for a second. So you can go or you can stay. Life can really, really kick you square in the sweet spot. Hard. Harder than sometimes we believe we can take. And it's wrong. A lot of it's mental. And I know mental health is a big thing that we want to talk about and we want to get through, but we don't talk about it enough. Everybody's skeptical. Everybody's afraid. Everybody knows everything. But at the end of the day, life was never, ever designed to be easy. Do some people have it easier? Yeah. Some people have it harder? Absolutely. But it doesn't take away from your hardship at all. It doesn't take away from that. It doesn't matter if you make $100 million or you make $100. Hardships are hardships. We can all go through traumatic experiences and rough times. And I think in this world, it would be far easier to go through these things with friends. Friends from 95. Friends from 83. True friends. Friends that aren't waiting for a slip up so they can capitalize. Friends that aren't waiting for the juicy gossip so that they can try to befriend somebody, or a person waiting to console you in your time of need just to be there because they want something. I think we have to get back to humanity, to empathy. We're all in the world together. We all dislike somebody, something, or somewhere. That doesn't mean that you're an evil person, because we all equally love something, some place, somewhere. We need to get back to the core of what makes humans humans. We're a community mammal. Not digitally communicative, but we're a community. We need physical contact. Yeah, we're in a unique time in the world. It'll pass just like everything else passes, and it'll be in the history books, all different than what most of us have ever experienced it. But just remember that no matter what it is you are going through in life, somebody else has gone through something. Maybe somewhat just like it. And that you're not alone. And you truly will be okay. And there is no easy way out of whatever it is you are going through. Sometimes it requires grit. Sometimes it requires teamwork. Sometimes it requires very strict discipline. Sometimes it just requires giving up control. But what I can tell you is truly, whatever it is you've gone through, especially in this last year, it will get better. And I say that positively because you can make it better. I'm not saying move on from your hardship. What I'm saying is we just have to move forward. My dad passed away. I found him. I have been through some very traumatic things in the military. I've been through some very traumatic things growing up. But what I found is I don't necessarily move on from them. I move forward. I learn new coping skills. I find what helps to ease my pain and to help me cope and evolve these feelings into something more. Because I truly believe everything happens for a reason. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I truly believe that there is something that we can take positively from every event, catastrophic or not. So that's my challenge to you. It's May 10th. It's 2021. We can dwell on all of the other shit that has happened, or we can choose to take a different mindset. It's the same road. It's the same exact road. You just choose to view it differently. Be practical, be real, be empathetic, but most of all, be human. Because no matter who you meet, whether they're smiling or not, everybody is fighting some sort of fight, and everybody, regardless of what they exude, has experienced something. We're only special if we use it properly. But we're all designed uniquely. And to me, that's pretty cool. So use it. Use it positively. Use it ethically. Use it humanely. But most importantly, use it going forward. That's it. That's all I got. I'll see you on the flip side. Yeah, that's this side. You know what's next. Holla!